How did Neymar, Messi, and Mbappé's PSG fail? Check out today's video for all the details that made Neymar, Messi, and Mbappé fail at PSG. If you like the video, like, comment and subscribe to the channel, it will help us a lot. Tell me, bro, how can a club that made the biggest transfer in the history of football to this day, buying the greatest Brazilian talent in recent years, add this to the French gem that became world champion at the age of 18, and the only return you get with all this is just gaining more media and consequently more money? So how did Paris Saint-Germain manage to have Lionel Messi, Neymar Jr., Kylian Mbappé, Sergio Ramos, Rakim on its roster, and the only thing they won was the mighty Frenchman, 0-28? Could it be that the real problem was with the players on the board or the coaching staff? Come with me, because today we're going to delve into this billion-dollar era of PSG Qatar, and we're going to remember a little bit of what the trajectory of what seemed to be an infallible project was like. But first, you're going to like this video and subscribe to the channel to help us reach this goal of 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thanks for watching this one. It's another one of the great projects here on the channel where I invest a lot of time in research and mainly editing to bring this type of content. So your like and subscription help a lot for a channel that is just starting out like mine. Now let's go to the video. Well, to start, let's go back to 2017 when Paris Saint-Germain had just been eliminated in what would be the biggest comeback in the history of the Champions League to this day. And yes, bro, I'm talking about that game against Barcelona where Neymar destroyed and 0-1-15 put it in his pocket. So, as a response to that elimination and an attempt to become a team that would be respected in the transfer market, PSG focused all its chips on taking Neymar from Barcelona to show the world that from that moment on, it was for real. And so, for the trifle of €222 million, PSG made the purchase, and now they would have the third best player in the world on their roster. The objective was, of course, bro, to lead a team that would fight hard on all fronts and whose main, 144, ambition was to be Champions League champion. Neymar's presentation was worthy of the biggest signing in the world of football, with his name stamped on the EEL tower. The Brazilian arrived in Paris on a 5-year contract. This was the main example of infinite money that PSG would demonstrate from then on. And man, the impact of this signing was something unprecedented in sports, at least in terms of the media. PSG, which was an irrelevant club in the European scene and especially here in Brazil, quickly became one of the most popular European teams, 2-12, here in South America. The impact of his transfer to PSG proved all of this. Paris was now a relevant team in all aspects, whether it was sports media or attracting new talent. And before we start mentioning the various mistakes, there is one success that is very important to mention: the agreement between the club and Jordan, which is a sports equipment brand. This was undoubtedly a huge success. PSG sold shirts like water in the desert, man, and it wasn't just because of the impact of Neymar's image, 241, it was because the shirts really were very beautiful, bro. Every year there was one more beautiful than the other, maybe not all of them, but most of them. They certainly were, and as if having the greatest Brazilian star wasn't enough, Paris invested heavily again and signed the French jewel who played for Monaco, the young Kylian Mbappé. The PSG attack was now formed by Mbappé, Cava, and time for us to realize that the one who would beat them would be Neymar, at least that was the intention, returning to the field and the ball. Which is very difficult when it comes to PSG, since the first season for Paris, bro, the 339 seeds of the decline of Neymar's career were wide open, and this, bro, was all due to an undeniable fact: the French league is garbage, as the league was practically without the spotlight, before a lot of things didn't go viral since the focus was on La Liga and the Premier League, which had already come, and clearly he could play at his 10%, which would already be there. Enough to be champion with leftovers. Then that was exactly what was happening. For example, Neymar arrived at PSG, which was already a powerhouse in the French league and was already winning every year without effort. With 10 games of the French championship, PSG already opened a, for 39, large advantage over the second place, and thanks to that, bro, it became more and more common to see Neymar at clubs, parties, poker events, and anything else that wasn't related to the Champions League. League One was Always just a detail, so all the movement and concentration was done only for the big Champions League games. But now answer me, how do you want to win if on the other side there will be a team that lives in 100% rotation? Like, how do you expect to get past Manchester City, who plays every round of the Premier League, or a Barcelona that fought point by point with Real 536 Madrid and vice versa? But since nobody cares about the French Championship in this video, the GEN own goal to close the score at 5-0 after having beaten Celtic. PSG now would have a test against Bayern from Munich at the Parc des Princes, and well, the match against Bayern starts with a goal from that right back there, whose name I won't even mention here because in my opinion he shouldn't even be remembered, but it was an assist from Neymar for him. The second goal was from Cavani and the third from Neymar, who just pushed it into the net, closing the match with more. 6:31, a dream score in the return game this time, 7:03. At the Parc des Princes, Andal lost 5-0 and 9-0 aggregate beating. Bro, the PSG fans must have been fooled at the beginning. It's a joke anyway, bro. 3 goals from Kau, 1 from Verratti and 1 from Neymar again so far, 4 Champions League games and 4 goals from the adult NEI. And bro, how Andal suffered. Celtic got jealous and wanted to show that he could get beaten, but went to the return game at the Parc des Princes and lost a 7-1 SAC with 1 minute of play. Jern from Munich in Germany, and coming on strong like that came good didn't help at all because they took 3-1 to show that 8:02 small team has to suffer anyway. So finally this group stage ended. PSG now left with a wonderful impression, even having lost the last game to Bayern, and good after a beautiful group stage like these. What could go wrong in the round of 16 is good. Here we have another great rival of Paris Saint-Germain. During this whole phase of Neymar and Mbappé happening, man, Paris Saint-Germain played well and was facing Real so much that they opened the scoring in the first half with a goal by Rabiot in the 33rd minute. But man, I'm laughing here reading the 8:59 script that I wrote myself, because man, this Real Madrid pact is so bizarre, man. At 45 minutes of the first half, Real Madrid scored a goal from Cristiano Ronaldo from a penalty. That this season, kid, he was scoring like crazy. The Portuguese's 10th goal in the Champions League, and this was still the first game. Rare now, something would happen for the first time. Unfortunately, I would see it happen many times in the future. Neymar leaves injured after a match in the French Championship. That damn injury in the 5th metatarsal of his right foot. And well, now I'm going to take a break from the facts to be able to express my opinion naked and raw. 10:01, thanks. After this injury, that Neymar's injury cycle began, in my opinion. Bro, you can even separate it. You know, there is a player Neymar before this injury and one after, but here is his main player. It was obvious that it was going to be shit, right? The first half, bro, was even disputed, since even with their Neymar, PSG did their best to stay competitive, since his replacement was Maria, who, let's agree, is far from being bad, right? As I said, the first half was tough and ended 0-0, but Paris would need a 2-0 to qualify, since there was the 10:57 away goal criterion. But what they really got was another goal from CR7 in the 51st minute. Psychologically, Paris clearly shit themselves when they saw the Real Madrid, 2-time Champions League champions, in front of you. The truth is that the game ended 2-1 with an aggregate score of 5-1 for Real Madrid, who advanced to the quarter-finals, prematurely eliminating the French club. Damn metatarsal injury. Man, you can't say for sure that with Neymar on the field, PSG would go through, but it would certainly be a different and good game this season. Paris won all the possible titles, 11:54, in Sergio Ramos's Frudo in the Salah, and 12:20, from the goalkeeper Carioca, who certainly did the trick for Real Madrid, and they came out champions in that game. Anyway, Paris now visits Liverpool in England for the opening of the Champions League and returns home with a 3-0 defeat on their backs. And well, man, at that point, losing to Liverpool and Anfield was normal. There's no shame in that. You know, Klopp's team was at its peak and crushed everyone anyway. So, let's play the game. I'm going to speed it up here now, man, because if I hit the red star one more time, this time 4-1, we'll get here. For me, it's PSG's worst elimination in this entire sequence. Again in the round of 16 of the Champions League. Neymar was unavailable for the second year in a row. The Brazilian suffers from the same injury on his right foot. Fracturing the same 5th metatarsal. I said that after the first injury there he was never the same, and even without Neymar, PSG beat United away from home 2-0 with goals from Kimpembe and Mbappé worldwide. And of course we can't forget to talk about the supposed soccer player Kimpembe, who in fact, man, is just a Pele with a grift to this day. I don't know what the French saw so much in that guy there, man. 14-12. For the love of God and good, Paris beat the French again walking, but they managed to lose the French Cup in the final against Rennes on penalties, including man generated that controversial part of Neymar punching a fan in the stadium. Oh man, Neymar generated entertainment. Pap Cavani and now signed more card centre-forward who was living a great phase of goal scorer in Europe, and on September 18, 2019, his first game in the Champions League, Paris would already face Real Madrid at home and good in France. Neymar still was recovering from injury, but Di Maria, 15-11, substituted and the law of the year does not fail. He scored 2 goals and Milia scored the third to close the score against Madrid, who were trying to recover in the absence of CR7 and other great players who made his mission. 10 was healthy and very hungry to win the champions after a barrage of criticism from their own fans. It is worth remembering here, bro, that at that time Neymar's relationship with PSG was horrible, but he decided that he would just play his football and give the answer on the field, and it was against Borussia Dortmund in the round of 16 that Paris Saint-Germain lost the 16-08 first game in Germany by 2-1, with 2 goals from the young promise Haaland for the Germans and a goal from Neymar for the French. LTA Paris then faced Atalanta and won 2-1 with a goal from Marquinhos and Choupo-Moting, advancing now to a semi-final and giving indications that it could finally be that year that the key would change for the Parisian team in the semi-final against RB Leipzig. Day was all over social media, man, where you saw that classic photo of Neymar with a mohawk everywhere, you know, and of course he decided to join the trend. He launched the 1705 mohawk for the game and the JBL under Maria's arm, 1734, flying, the whole team in place. Nothing could go wrong, right? Oh, how unlucky this team is, man. On the other side, there was simply a Bayern Munich all edited in '99. Seriously, man, these guys here weren't pure. But there's no way, you know, it doesn't exist. It wasn't pure. There's no way the Germans were playing the season of their lives, man, running over everyone with their car, having just scored an 8-2 on Barcelona, a historic haul, winning every possible title. But come on, he's free to kick, and obviously he lost, man. Mbappé is a special case. I think he's a football star, but it's 1835, bizarre how he likes to lose. Goal, man, if this were a final in the World Cup, he would score a goal even with his back to goal, but since it was the Champions League final, he decided to lose anyway. Then, at 59, Coman went up and got behind Kehrer and scored with his head. How could a club like Paris Saint-Germain, a billionaire, want to win the Champions League? His fullback is Tico Kehrer, and that's it, man. What are the chances of this working out? You know? And the worst part is that it almost worked. Oh, but Marquinhos was playing really well as a defensive midfielder, damn it. My brother, he's not a defensive midfielder, he's a defender. The club is a billionaire, he's not. 1934, he had to be improvising, the player, you know. Paris Saint-Germain has always had a management focused on buying star strikers, but the rest of the squad left something to be desired, made up of average players, with the exception of big names like Thiago Silva in the past. The season marked by Neymar's dominance in the game against Manchester United at Old Trafford was one of PSG's few high-level performances in the Champions League. Despite this, inconsistency persisted, impressive victories followed by disappointing eliminations, such as against Bayern, where the team failed to score a single goal on aggregate. The arrival of names like Messi, Sergio Ramos and Donnarumma brought hope, but the lack of organisation, planning and a competitive midfield continued to harm the team. The constant changes of coaches and the prioritization of status over football made the club media-friendly, but without identity. Even with Messi, Neymar and Mbappé, PSG failed to win the Champions League and had frustrating seasons, culminating in departures such as Messi to Miami and Neymar to Saudi Arabia. PSG became an example of mismanagement, losing Mbappé for free to Real Madrid and maintaining a chaotic administration led by Nasser Al-Khelaifi, even after numerous controversies. Today, the club is the portrait of a project more concerned with marketing than with sport, with little connection with its fans and a squad full of famous names, but without the structure to form a winning team.